Hey guys! Welcome back! Or, thank you for joining us, I guess.
Yeah, either way.
I'm Raquel.
I'm Jake.
And this is Don't You Know? So, let's see here. It's kind of been a while since we recorded. Because we did a whole bunch of recordings together. So I was editing those recordings. So even though it seemed like we were still doing the normal week, it's actually been like 2 weeks since we recorded.
Yeah, we had a vacation. No, not really. I don't vacation.
So I guess we'll do a couple of announcements and then get right into it. So for the podcast-wise, hopefully by the time this episode comes out, we'll be on to Apple Podcasts. Woo-woo!
Boop, boop.
Which we should have done a long time ago. I'm sorry about it. It just looked very confusing and I didn't want to do it. But now that I actually learned how to do it, I don't think it seems to be that confusing to do.
Yeah, Apple's always way more complicated, so it's to be expected.
Really? Because I was up and ready and my MacBook was ready to go and someone else was having a problem with their camera.
Well, if you had an unplugged camera on your Apple, it would take you even longer.
Sure.
Anyway, so yeah, we'll be on Apple Play, so now anyone who's complaining that we weren't on Apple Play, now you got nothing to whine about. Perfect.
They're going to be whining about the fact that I don't think it's called Apple Play, but okay.
Apple Play. Probably like what? Apple Audio Byte or something?
I think it's called Podcast. Apple Podcast.
Well, there you go.
So, and I think I told you before we even started this.
Yeah, well, names are for friends, and I don't have any. So.
Okay, so, I have my new mic. We'll see how this works out. I've used, like, so many different mics throughout the whole, like, we just did our 25th episode, which we didn't say anything about, which we should have. Oh well, 26th episode,
Well, this is our
guys.
special 26th episode. You're exactly right.
And I've gone through, like, 4 different mics, 4 or 5. I think this is the 5th mic. Now, granted, the other 2 were just, like, temporary ones until I got this one, but, yeah.
26 is 2 baker's dozens.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is random, but it is true.
We'll force it.
Yeah. So that's what's going on with the podcast. We also have a couple things in the works. We'll see what's going on with that still.
Yeah.
I think that's it. That's all the updates for the... Oh, wait, what am I doing? Of course, I have to tell what new states and countries we had listeners in.
Oh, yeah, our new ones.
Sorry,
That's right.
guys. So, we have some new listeners in... what should we do first? Countries or states?
Let's do countries, and then we'll bring it in.
Okay. So, we have new listeners in Peru and in India.
Very cool.
So, and then state-wise... we have South Carolina and Texas.
Very nice.
Yep.
Welcome aboard.
This month's statistics is showing that New York is totally kicking everyone's butts about downloads, though. It's like got like 4 times the amount of any other states. So California and I think, can't remember what the other state was, are kind of coming up close, but New York still got the lead.
Well, all right, the Big Apple. We're back on apples today.
Apples are just better, I guess.
Well, we can say, don't you know, we're glad to have you all.
Yes. And I think that's it for the podcast specifically. So, but there is one other thing about the podcast, kind of, which is we're going to be talking about Jacob's new experience with making out at bar tables, since we talked about in last episode that he would have experience now.
Oh, yeah, I forgot all about that. Well, you see, I've been very busy. And, sometimes those, yeah, no, that didn't happen. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, then. Well, that's all for the podcast announcements, then.
Womp womp.
So, Jacob, disappointing our fans.
All right, what about you? You're like, I'm a lady, I don't kiss and tell.
That was not part of our episode, and talking, if you had listened to it today, you would know it was only on you to have more experience in making out at bar tables.
Well, now that I still don't think I've ever at a bar table.
I haven't been to a bar in a while, so.
Yeah, me either.
I was gonna go, me and my brother were gonna go to Hermosa Beach a couple weekends ago, but then he was like, I don't want to go out and spend money, and then I was like, and he was like, just come over here and drink, and I was like, I don't want to go to Grandpa's. Parking sucks over there, and then it's just a hassle, and I don't want to do all that.
Darn.
Like, if I was going to drink, then I'd rather have gone out and drink, you know? So we didn't do anything.
Also, it's good to go out. It's good to stay active and be social. I think that's important. But that was last episode. We got a whole fresh episode.
Yeah. Okay, so personal announcements. You want to go first?
I have none.
You have none?
I've done nothing. I've played Borderlands. That's about it.
Okay, well, I did this really cool VR thing. It was very similar to the VR Escape the Room for Jack the Ripper.
Mm-hmm.
But this one was crazy. We got there, both me and my brothers went. It was in Santa Monica. It's called The Void. And so we went there, and the girl was like, oh, is this your first VR experience? And we're like, yeah, this is our first time here.
Is this your first time in the Matrix? Are you gonna, like, freak out and start, like, throwing punches?
And she was like, and you guys picked this one because you picked a scary one. Because the other options were Wreck-It Ralph or Star Wars, and we just weren't interested in those. So we did the scarier one.
But you could have a lightsaber in the Star Wars, and lightsabers are pretty cool in VR. Not even a big Star Wars guy, but I had one in my game, and I downloaded it as a mod, and I was like, yeah, sure. Oh, it's like the best thing ever. Sorry, carry on. Interrupted.
And so me and Nick were like, well, we have done a VR one before down South Bay. This was totally different. So in this one, we were able to see our hands in the VR set. And two, I mean, like, we were able to see our hands somewhat in the other one, but it was based on controllers. We weren't holding any controllers. It just kind of, like, saw our hands.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Those never work that well. Sometimes. Depends on what they are.
Yeah, it was alright. I mean, it still kind of glitched a little bit.
But this one, what? You had, like, controllers, like, on your hands?
No, like, if you brought your hands up to, like, eye level or whatever, you can see your, like, hands. Like, your VR hands.
Oh, okay. But what was on your actual hands?
Nothing.
Oh, just more cameras. Trying to figure out how they're doing all this.
I think what they do is they set up, I can't remember. I read into the technology because I was curious, and I can't remember what it was called.
I bet it's a Leap Motion, if I had to guess. It's probably put it right on the front, and then it just has lasers on your hands. That's my guess. It's a great solution.
I don't know. I think they said something about having the room all set up and having, like, all these different cameras or something like that.
Yeah.
Then you have your vest that has the console, I was like, okay, well, that's kind of, the same thing as what we did before. Did not know this vest had vibrators on it. And I looked it up, and it has, like, 22 vibrators on it. And so when something, like, jumped out or touched you, the vest would vibrate. And so when the first time that happened, I screamed bloody murder because I did not know that was going to happen.
They gotcha.
Yeah, well, see, like, I go to haunted houses all the time, and I don't scream. The only thing I do is laugh at the other people screaming. I scream bloody murder throughout this whole thing, because it was like I saw stuff, but at the same time, my mind knew it wasn't real. So it was almost, like, equivalent to being blindfolded, almost.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because you can't see everything. It's like wearing scuba goggles.
Yeah, and so it just was a different experience. But it was really cool, because the way that they also set it up is they set up the room to, like, kind of match what you're seeing in the VR. So if there's a wall there in the VR, then there's an actual wall there. I
gotcha. Oh, that's pretty cool. So you can, like, lean against stuff or, like, touch stuff.
Yeah. So, like, we go into, like, there was this elevator, and the elevators had seats. And if you sat down in the seat. So, it was funny because I was sitting down on one side, and my brothers were sitting down the other side. And then they go, Raquel, it's behind you! I scream. I jumped up right basically into their laps across the elevator.
Nice.
And, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was hilarious because there is, supposedly there is a person that is supposed to be in the room to watch to make sure we don't hurt ourselves.
Oh, yeah, a little, like, safeguard.
And I'm pretty sure they, like, busted it. I'm sure they had to, like, control themselves and not laugh as they watched me jump from my seat over into my brother's laps.
They're probably Snapchatting you.
And what's cool is ours didn't have it, but I heard them talking about the Star Wars one, and the Star Wars ones, they were saying that if you see, like, fire, you'll feel heat. Like, it won't be, like, actual fire, obviously, but you'll feel the heat. And with this one, there was a point where you walk through spider webs, and you actually, like, felt, like, strings, almost like spider webs.
Nice. That's cool. I bet getting hit with a blaster would, like, make your vest go off.
Probably.
Or, like, getting hit with a lightsaber, too. That's interesting. It's like you ever been to those 4D theaters where you like sit in the chair and like look like you get them at Disney World or wherever. They like spray water at you and stuff. It's kind of like that avenue.
Yeah, it's kind of like that / VR / escape the room.
I imagine it was pretty dark, wasn't it? It being a horror theme.
Yeah, ours was a little bit on the darker end, yeah.
So, in my experience, when it's dark in VR, it is really dark because like you cannot see. You literally can't see because there's a box on your face. So if they wanted it to be dark, there's no like adjusting your eyes. It's dark.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't see anything. It's really spooky.
Exactly. It was so much fun. I would do it again.
Which one would you do next? Would you do the Wreck-It Ralph or the? I bet the Wreck-It Ralph was going to be kind of fun too because it's so video gamey.
Yeah, it's Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet one. So I think it's not only gaming, but it's also like very trendy, like social media wise kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like the movie was at least.
Yeah, what were the graphics like? Because that's what I'm thinking of. Is like the thing about VR is that if you try and make it hyper realistic and your display isn't good enough, then it's gonna look all messed up. But if you just try and make it look like a cartoon, then your brain accepts it a lot more easily, depending on what it is. It's like the horror theme. If you can like tell that it's not real, then but it's easy to adapt to it too. You can forget that like the screen door effect is there or whatever. I don't know. Did it look good? Wreck-It Ralph would be easy to do.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely looked like a typical video game kind of thing, but it definitely wasn't like, it wasn't crappy graphics either. You could tell it wasn't like real life, but at the same time, it wasn't like super video game-ish kind of thing. You know?
Okay, so it was like realistic, like Resident Evil or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that would be a perfect example.
Nice, a realistic style. No, that's cool.
And it was also what it is that it goes into, I guess, like a time period where there was like disappearance and supposedly that there was a supernatural creature that was behind the disappearance or whatever, and you have to go back in time to, I guess, solve what's going on, what's happening. And so it's like takes
neat.
place, yeah, so it takes place in the older times too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So let's talk about movies and TV shows?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. So I saw Scary Stories.
Scary Stories? Is that a Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark? Is that what you're talking about?
It's Scary Stories. Okay, so Scary Stories is a movie in theaters. And what it's about is that these kids find a book, and in the book it's like a cursed book, and so what happens is stories are starting to be written, like appearing about them, about how they're gonna die and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. I think you told me about this.
I might have told you I was going to see it. I don't know if I told you about it. Or maybe I did when we were playing Minecraft.
Might have been.
So, this movie was actually pretty good, and
cool.
One of the things I really liked about it was that normally at the beginning of a horror movie, you have it where they have to tell you the story of what's happening. You know, and usually it's kind of in very obvious, kind of boring ways, though. Like
the flash newspaper clippings to some dramatic music.
And they drag it out, but they have to kind of like, they have to tell you the story behind it, but at the same time, they're kind of drawing it out. Like, oh, I'm sorry about what happened to you and Karen. And you're like, okay, so something happened to him and his wife, and blah, 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 blah. Oh, Dad, and then they get a call, Dad, you know, you have to move on now that Mom found someone else. And you're like, oh, okay, so they split.
Okay.
But it's like all these, like, so you have all these like little steps to explain what's kind of going on to set the scene. They
should just like show them and then be like, pfft, and they're like, Roger Morris, divorcee. Divorcee? Or is that just a girl? Divorcee? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
29.
I thought it was all, yeah.
You just do it like that. Bing!
And so this one also had it where it was kind of setting the scene and all that stuff, letting you know what about the characters and stuff like that. But this one added in a couple jump scares and funny moments in it. So it kind of, that little part that kind of always seemed boring and dragged on wasn't so bad because of those jumps and the funny scenes. It made it more like interesting and entertaining while it was going through the settings.
Okay, so it carried your interest.
Yeah, so it was really good. Definitely recommend seeing it. I didn't think it really was that scary, except for one part, because it involved spiders, and I don't like spiders. So,
man, All this hate on spiders.
I hate spiders and snakes.
I think that, like, if you're scared, if you're like an irrational arachnophobe, it means like one of your ancestors like died from a spider bite or something. I don't know if that's true.
Actually, I read an article not too long ago. Well, actually, it was a while ago, and it talked about how certain phobias that like you don't actually have any personal experience in might actually be phobias from your ancestors that have been passed along in your genes.
Yeah, I could see it being a thing. I don't know. I don't know if it is or isn't.
Yeah, because there's so many things that people are afraid of altogether, but there's not like they didn't have any personal experience, and there's like a big group of people who are afraid of these things, like spiders and snakes, and yes, like you can like, you know, watch stuff on, but some of these people are afraid of like spiders and snakes and stuff like that, just like naturally. And where did they learn to be afraid of that?
Yeah.
So they said that possible phobias are in their DNA from ancestors.
I could see that. I think it's also varying shades too, because it's like I don't think of myself as scared of spiders, but if I just like, if one of them like falls on my face, I'm gonna react to it. Because I don't know what it is. Something's on me now. I had to make sure he's like not aggressive. But then I'm like, oh, it's just like a whatever it was. I'm like, not a big deal. I don't know. That's more just surprise, I guess. And like, I guess if there was like a Black Widow coming at me, I would probably just smash it, to be honest. I'm still way bigger. I mean, anyway, now that all of our arachnophobes have stopped listening, let's go on to maybe the topic.
I have two more things.
Two more things. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Don't rush me.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to think because I haven't watched anything. Or if I have, no, it's just Borderlands. That's all it is. My media has been all shooty.
I'm almost finished with the second season of Mindhunter. That's pretty good too.
Okay, I've heard of this before.
Yeah, it's a Netflix original, and it kind of reminds me of, like, I get the feeling of it being kind of like a prequel to Criminal Minds kind of thing. Like, this is a forming, basically, of their unit in the FBI, where they analyze serial killers and, like, do profiles on them. And this is basically kind of like the start of profiling. So they're just now interviewing serial killers. They're now just coining the term or something, whatever. They're just coming up with the term serial killer. Because before they used to call them multiple murderers or something like that.
Yeah. It's one thing to kill a bunch of people. It's another thing to have, like, a systematic process.
Yeah. And they never noticed that they just, you know, this person killed this many people. They never really looked at each criminal, like each of these criminals, and been like, wait a second, these people have certain things in common. It's really good.
So you're practicing? You're studying up?
Yeah, duh. No, just kidding. No, I just think it's interesting. Yeah,
they're fun to watch. I'm just teasing you.
Yeah, I know. I really like, I don't know, I just watch it the whole time, and I just keep going, man, I feel like this is a sequel to Criminal, a prequel to Criminal. Now, there is one character, and man, he just aggravates me so much, but he's such, like, a very important person in this show, because he's basically the one that is kind of setting, like, getting all the information and, like, really the backbone of all this, like, research project of studying criminals so that they, studying serial killers so that they can be able to profile.
Mm-hmm.
But man, he's like, some of the stuff you're doing, you're just like, are you stupid or what, man?
Oh, he's dumb. He's not. I thought he was going to be like a jerk or something.
No, he's like kind of similar to Sheldon Cooper in a way. Like, he's really...
Oh, okay.
Like, he's got, like, he follows his gut and stuff like that, but he's not paying attention to, like, really social etiquette.
Oh. He's just... I see what you mean.
Yeah, like, there was one time he was... Like, there's a couple of times where he, like, just stuck his foot right into his mouth, but he just kept on talking, and everyone else was looking at him like, are you, like, what are you doing? Stop!
Well, that's funny. Just no social grace.
Yeah, and then, like, he also is, like, he's so invested in this project that he's not, like, paying attention to how it looks like to other people. So basically, he's trying to, like, sometimes he tries to somewhat form a bond with these serial killers so that they talk to them. But the type of language he's using can look bad upon the FBI. Yes, the serial killer, like, that's how you bond with a serial killer, but you shouldn't, like, be presenting like you're still representing the FBI. You shouldn't be talking like that.
Oh, yeah.
But he's like, but I have to get them to talk. This is how we bond, blah, 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 blah. It's like, don't become the one of the, I think like the FBI director or whatever. His boss was basically saying, he was like, I should listen to the recording and be able to tell who is my agent and who is the serial killer.
That's funny. And don't be an enabler either. Don't encourage them. That's funny.
So, and then the last thing I have was going kind of back to the last episode. We talked about Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh.
And remember how you were saying that you were thinking there was 4 seasons for Avatar?
Uh-huh.
With the Aang episode? When I went to the Void, there was another guy that was like talking about a 4th season for Avatar. So it's very common for people to do. I don't know. I wrote it down because I just thought it was interesting that so many people like assume there was 4 seasons for Aang, which makes sense because 4 elements, 4 seasons, right?
Yeah, right.
But
nope, just trilogy.
And then someone was like, oh yeah, they're doing a 4th season. And I looked it up and I don't see anything. I see that they're supposedly going to be doing a live action sometime this year. Maybe. I mean, it's getting pretty close to the end of the year and still nothing. But they just did Invader Zim. That's what me and my brother are going to go watch later today.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember you were talking about that one.
Yeah. And they did Rocko's Modern Life too recently. Both of them are only movies, but definitely.
I've always been around people that like Invader Zim, and I've seen a couple episodes, and it's pretty funny, but it's not really my style. But I like who they are. I just don't really watch it.
I met the voice of Gur.
Cool. That's funny. Gur's awesome.
Got his signature for me, and they got a signature for my brother, because he likes Gur.
Does he look like Gur?
No, of course not. Okay, ready for the topic then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so today our topic is going to be on college. In college.
We both went there.
We both did, and we both went to the same one.
We did.
So we're going to be biased.
For those that don't know, that's where we met.
Yep.
Because, a lot of people meet there.
Though if you've been listening to us before, I think it's kind of obvious that we met. And I think it's kind of obvious what our school colors might be based on everything that comes out on our podcast.
That we produce. Yeah, right? These guys love Halloween.
Which is true, we do love Halloween. Oh, at least I do.
It's pretty fun.
But that is not why we do those colors. Yeah, your dad left a comment about his orange shirt.
Yeah.
And at first, when I saw that comment, I was like, because he said, I love my orange shirt. When I saw that comment, I was like, why did he mention his orange shirt? Did we talk about, I'm pretty sure we probably talked about orange something. And I had to go back and listen to that episode. I was like, oh, this is Jacob's dad. But
yep.
I was like, I was like, what did we talk about Mercer about? Why did he mention an orange shirt?
No, you made fun of him. You said he was wearing a color.
I was just saying how
it hurt his feelings.
All 3 of his sons were all in dark colors, and he was in a bright orange shirt. That was all I was saying.
Yeah, but if all of his 3 sons jumped off a cliff, would you? No. But that's not how that saying goes. He's a trendsetter, not a trend follower.
He would just shake his head and go, I did not raise them right. Okay, so let's go ahead and get right into it then. So, my first don't you know for it is if you have a meal plan, which our school required us to have a meal plan our freshman year and then our sophomore year as well. Though I only had to have a meal plan half of sophomore year because I did enough AP credits to have a semester done. So by second semester sophomore year, I was actually technically a junior, so I didn't have to do a meal plan. Which worked because I was in an apartment, so I had a kitchen. Why would I need a meal plan?
Well, don't you know, you're assuming you know how to cook. Some people live off that meal plan. They don't know how to boil an egg without falling over.
Some people can get instant noodles. You just pour hot water in it.
Yeah. How do you get hot water? Can you do that in a microwave? You can, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say I put mine in the microwave, even though it says put hot water into packet. I always just put the water in and stick it in the microwave. Not how the instructions say do it, but that is how I do it.
For the record, and for my poor mother who's like face palming right now, I know how to cook a little bit. I was not that bad in college. Just making jokes here.
And PB&J, duh.
PB&J is really good. Yeah, no, there's a lot you can do.
Yeah.
I got meal plan my second year as well, and I used it. I got unlimited. I'd be there all the time, just constantly getting light stuff, not stuff in my face, because I can go all the time,
Mm-hmm.
And social, you hang out there. plug in your laptop, get on the Wi-Fi, chill out. Yeah, it was good. That's one of the best. You eat pizza all day. But it was a lot more expensive than just doing it on your own.
That actually brings me up to another don't you know, which I might as well go ahead and say. Don't you know the food's always better when important people are coming or your parents are coming? Like when they have family weekend and stuff like that. Other than that, the food is just eh.
Yeah, they got a budget. You could get mediocre food all the time, or you could do like waves, and get the really good stuff when it's more popular. It was never bad, though, really. I don't remember it being bad. At least not at our school. I'm sure some schools are, but usually they want people to come to the school.
Well, that's when you would have time, when they had good food, was when they had, like, people coming through. But I remember most of the time, our freshman year, me and my friends, we got, like, burgers and fries, basically, and pizza. That was all we ate because there was nothing else that was good.
I don't know what you're talking about. You can just find something good. You're too picky.
Man, I still remember when they had the people come in that were determining whether or not we can have a football team again. And like, oh my god, me and my friends, we had like 6 plates of food because they actually had good food.
Oh yeah, we always have prime rib on Mondays.
So, anyways, okay, so here was my original don't you know for that though, was if you have a meal plan, don't you know that you don't go to the store and buy like milk or salt and pepper, you get that from the cafeteria.
Wow.
Don't you know? You just stick that into your book bag and just hop on out.
Terms and services.
So you go and get the little like coffee cups, put some milk in that.
I just get a coffee to go.
You put cookies in there.
Yeah, I get the cookies. Yeah, you always use them. And they'll see you. They'll stop you too. To be like, hey, you can't get that. No, please.
What are you talking about? I never sold them at any
Speaking
point
of
trying to get them.
to-go containers, don't you know, take care of your to-go containers. Because when I imagine they still have the plastic recyclable ones.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to bring them back. Don't bring them back like moldy. And don't let them get moldy. Because you're going to be a lazy or a busy, freshman, sophomore, doing your thing. Don't get mold in your to-go containers that you recycle with the rest of the school. Because that's grody. That's cochino.
Is that why the freshman guys' dorm always smelled?
Probably among other reasons.
It was always like, I was told the biggest reason was because of the lacrosse players. I heard that they were like super stinky up in there.
Well, that's a tough sport, and you got a lot of equipment that's like form-fitting and stuff. It soaks up sweat. You gotta air it out. They didn't have a locker room. They need a locker room. I think they probably have a locker room by now.
Oh yeah, because they have the football stadium now. I've seen them play on the football field, so I assume they probably use the lockers too.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it was kind of dank. Not dank, rank. I can't. I mean, it might be dank down there too. I don't know. It wasn't when I was there.
Okay. So this one is for mainly our school. This was like a don't you know for our school, which is don't you know you don't cross at the crosswalk. You just cross when it's clear.
Just go for it. If you made it to college and you don't know how to look left and right, just go. Oh, I know where you're going with this. I've heard this.
My freshman year, finals week, so the freshman girls' dorm was kind of like off on the side, and people would fly through there to go park in the back, and so some girl was crossing the crosswalk and got hit. And I think the year after that, someone got hit at the crosswalk as well. So anytime someone got hit, it was always at the crosswalk. Like, in the crosswalk.
That's funny. I thought you were going to make a joke about how, like why do college students always just seem to walk out in front of traffic without looking? And then they're like, yeah, please, hit me. Pay my student loans. That's where I thought you were going. Like,
I do that.
Please, I got 2 tests and 40 pages to write. Please. Make it happen. That's terrible.
If I have the right way in the crosswalk, I do look, but at the same
you should
time...
always look.
Yeah.
You're responsible for you being alive in the middle of the road.
Exactly. But there are times where it seems like the person, like they're slowing down, and I could tell that they see me.
Yeah, you gotta make eye contact and hey, slow down, don't drive your car into my legs.
Yeah, so
I will make sure to put my head through your windshield. I'm coming in for you if you do it.
I know that they see me. I'm not going to wait for them because I have the right of way. And then in my head, I'm also thinking, yeah, go ahead and hit me so you pay for my cross.
No, because then it might be, you might get $50,000 out of the settlement, but you can't ever walk again. It's like, all right, don't know, 50K is 50K. Yeah, you gotta like jump and take your weight off your feet. I don't think this is, it's not a long-term solution. Think of all the schooling you're missing. That's your career. No. Don't you know, don't walk out in the front of traffic. That's the official stance. I'm overriding this as co-host. Stay safe.
Let's do a dance battle for it. No, just kidding.
All right, if you win, you can walk in front of traffic. All right, let's do it. What do you...
Okay. Don't you know? Well, I'm not sure if this applies to other schools. Do other schools have family weekend too, or was it just only ours?
I imagine.
Okay, that's what I thought too.
I imagine that's probably a big deal. I'm sure there's like a big standardized notebook that's like, here's how you run a university. And then it's like, you gotta have family weekend, you gotta have like all of the Russian stuff, and you gotta have, not Russian stuff, the rushing stuff. Greek, not Russian.
There you go, Greek rush. Rush week.
Rush week, yeah. You gotta have like well, I was talking about pep rallies today. We didn't really have pep rallies in college.
We have the homecoming. We had the homecoming like party.
Homecoming's a big deal. Homecoming was always so much fun. I hope it's as big at other schools as it was at ours, because homecoming was always fun.
And then I stopped going after my I think the not the year right after I graduated, but the year after that, because then they changed homecoming to be for football, which makes sense because that's what every other school was. But I didn't like our football team. I only went to homecoming because I liked our basketball team.
We had a good basketball team.
Our football team sucked. Well,
it was
their first year, or whatever. But
they were learning.
I was not happy.
It's rough.
I was
They're
not
taking hard
happy.
hits. You're not.
The whole reason I went to Mercer was because they didn't have a football team.
You're anti-football.
Well, because so in the South, especially Georgia, anytime you talk about college, a lot of times they're talking about college football. And I didn't want to go to a school and people be like, oh, that's a great football team. Blah, blah. No, I want to be, oh, that's a great academic school. Because that's what I was going for. I wasn't going to play football. So.
It depends on whom you're talking to. If you're talking to your like employers and your colleagues, if they care about football, maybe they will. I don't know. If you're talking to a guy who likes football, yeah, he's going to like your football school. And he probably respects your school more because of their football team than any of their academics. So, and we've alienated the football crew.
They're not people I really care about. I'm just kidding.
Man.
Maybe.
Sorry, guys.
You know
That's
what?
Right.
They actually did a video. You know how they do that video where they kind of go around for the freshmen on like their move-in day and kind of interview some freshmen, ask them why they came and all that stuff. And one person straight up said, "I came because Mercer didn't have a football team."
Oh yeah.
That was not my year. It was the year after. It was your year. But then I think my senior year was the first year that they had a football team.
And I'll bet they're real fun at parties. Sarcasm, pinky up. No, I don't know. I think it's fun to have a team, I guess. I just don't want it to be like front and center. It's a side thing. It's what we do for fun.
So back to family weekend then. So don't you know? I was like, where am I going with this? I don't remember what we were talking about this.
I don't know. You mentioned football and her eyes just went red.
Okay, so don't you know? Your family only comes to family weekend when you're a freshman.
And they're like, all right, good job. We can only make this 500-mile trip so many times.
Mom was like an hour and a half away. My family only came my freshman year, and I don't even remember if I told them. I think they kind of were like, hey, we're coming down. It's family weekend. And I was like, how do you know about that? I think they sent my mom or my dad, like, an invitation.
They sent them, like, postcards and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's what they did.
They got, like, a calendar, too. Probably on the mailing list.
I'm pretty sure my parents didn't get any, like, calendars or anything, like, or check the calendar or whatever. I'm pretty sure they got, an invitation. There was another time I got, like, an honors thing for journalism. Not journalism. Media studies. I got, like, the outstanding junior, and I think I got outstanding senior, too, in media studies. And they sent a letter to my parents about that, too. Congratulations, your kid has gone an outstanding junior in media studies. So, like, they surprised me. Like, I went to the ceremony. I didn't tell them because I was like, to me, like, the media studies department wasn't very big. It was probably like 30 people most at tops.
Probably way bigger now.
Probably only like 10 or 15 maybe tops for juniors. So I was kind of like, this is great. It's great for your resume and stuff like this, but there wasn't very many like candidates for this opportunity.
Oh.
And so I didn't tell my parents about it, but like I went to the ceremony and there's my mom and my grandma. They're
You're like,
all
"Oh, hey."
excited. I was like, what are they doing here?
You're like, I wish I'd have prepared a better speech. No, that's so sweet of them.
Yeah.
That is very sweet.
They did that for like my like middle school graduation too, I think. I didn't tell them
Oh.
about it because I didn't really think it was going to be that big of a deal because we're just going into high school. I look up at the stands, there they are.
No, that's very sweet.
It was fun. Me and my dad did the rock wall family weekend.
Nice. Oh, I remember doing that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was good.
And then they got rid of it. Those jerks.
Well, I meant the specifically family weekend on the rock wall.
Yeah, I was talking about they got rid of the rock wall.
Yeah, well, I try not to think about it.
That was Mess Up Mercer if you're listening. Because they did it the year after. No, that year that Coach Allen died.
Yeah.
That's messed up.
Well, might have been. I don't know. No one can run it like he can. They just can't ever find anyone to replace.
But
I
yeah,
don't
they
know.
still had us like working team building exercises and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, we did that a few times after. We had to step up and be heroes.
Yeah, we'll see.
Family weekend. What about tours? Don't you know?
Don't you know? Don't have boobs flashing across the TV during family
What?
tours.
Oh, yeah, that story.
We got.
I thought.
I'm pretty sure I've talked about it before, but
Yeah, you have.
I ran the television student organization, and actually no, this wasn't when I was running it. This was when I was just a member, and we got banned from the student center because we were playing. I think the movie was either Halloween or Freddy Krueger or something like that, and Nightmare on Elm Street. Sorry. Anyways, and apparently boobs flashed across the screen as parents and stuff were walking through on the tour.
They were covered in blood too, but that's not why they were bothered. It was no. I was gonna say that there was always that discussion, like, okay, do you mess with the tour group and like go, no, don't do it, run for your lives, but that's really bad for PR. Don't do that. So it's like you always joke about it, but don't actually do it. 'Cause
He would get a nice call to the dean's office.
yeah, you would definitely get in trouble.
No, I don't think it would be the dean's office. You would just have to appear before the student council, I think.
You'd have to do like mandatory marketing. You'd have to like stand out and pass flyers at like some high school. That's not a bad idea, actually.
You would have to run the next tour group and do it for
Yeah,
free.
there you go.
Because they pay
Mercer
them.
Community Service. You gotta do it for free. Yeah, you better smile. Put the Vaseline on their teeth so they taste gross to close their mouth.
You better know what year Mercer was founded in.
Well, I used to. That's 1887, isn't it? Gotta Google it. Man, if I'm on
Uh-oh.
1833.
Uh-oh. Jacob?
Wait, 1945.
No, 1833 sounds right. I think we moved
Yeah.
locations.
It's a different question. Yeah,
Because
that's
we
what I
used
was
to
thinking.
be at Penfield, and then we moved to the location we're at now.
Yeah.
I never went to Penfield, by the way.
Didn't you?
No.
I did.
I didn't want to. Going to a place where you had to deal with like all that hay and outside, and nope. I was like, nah, I don't need to go to that. I think I ended up working on a paper. I think I had a paper
It
due.
was fun. It was really good. I know what you're talking about. Pilgrimage to Penfield. Oh, it was really good. You missed out.
It didn't involve a free t-shirt, so I didn't go.
They fed us like barbecue. It was awesome.
Oh, my friend said that they got like PB&J sandwiches.
I don't remember. Maybe I'm playing it up in my head. I want to say it was a nice meal because I remember they were playing. I don't even remember who I was there with, but
There was fireworks. That was like the only thing that they said they enjoyed.
I don't remember fireworks. All I remember is sitting around a table and they had Mumford and Sons playing back when they were big, and it was really homey. It was nice. It was fun. It was a good trip. Don't you know? Don't be lame like Raquel and do all the fun, hokey history stuff because you'll appreciate it later. You'll be like, oh yeah, it makes you proud of your school.
I did the tower thing.
That's true.
So,
Don't you know, get involved too. Like I've got, you hear about people, they just go and they go to classes and it's like, yeah, no, go out, do some extracurricular stuff. You're only YOLO. That was big when we were in college. I don't know. Don't miss out. Don't pass stuff up.
Yeah.
Not even in college, just in life too. Sorry, motivational all of a sudden. And I'm talking to myself. What am I doing? I gotta go. No.
finally, going back to t-shirts. Jacob,
Oh, yeah, t-shirts.
don't you know, if an event has food and free t-shirts, you have to go no matter what it's for.
I never cared about. Well, I cared about some t-shirts. People get obsessed with t-shirts, man.
T-shirts and food. if like
Food is pretty good,
sometimes
though.
my friends would be like, "Oh, hey Raquel, you want to go to this event?" Or I would be like, "Hey, you guys want to go to this event?" And they'll be like, "Is there free food? Is there a free T-shirt?" Those are the questions. It wasn't like, "Hey, what is the event? What are you doing?" It was, "Is there free food? Is there a free T-shirt?"
What's in it for me? No, but it's art and it's culture and it's entertainment and it's. Do I get stuff? No, I'm not going. But it's Neil Armstrong. He walked on the moon. Did he give me a T-shirt from the moon? No.
Okay, let's do a discussion. So this discussion also, I found an article about it, which is why I kind of want to bring up this discussion, but I want to do the discussion before we look at the article. So the discussion is about, obviously everyone hears about it, the Freshman 15.
Oh.
So yes, you believe in it. No, you don't believe in it. What's your
Mine was
opinion
a
about
freshman 50. I blew up. No, I'm just teasing.
I was gonna say, then you must have been like really, really, really like bones before you came into college.
No, I stayed about the same all throughout college. I think, so I was in, I hear a dog in the background. You probably hear him too. I was about 119 when I came in, and I was about 126 when I left. Like, way later. I didn't do a lot. But I was also like, I think that all depends on what you're doing.
That is 15, right? Freshman, oh no, that's like 5.
No, I'm talking about left college.
Yeah, I know.
Like 4 years later. Yeah, no, I mean, I was real small the whole time. So me gaining, and it might be percentage too. If you go in at 160 and you come out 175, well, that might be the same percentage that I did. And you know, it all depends on like, are you sitting down a lot more? Maybe you're going and working out with friends, you might put it on. But I think you're talking about going and just eating a lot and getting fat and happy, like that one meme.
The freshman 15. The freshman also, it's like for freshmen only.
I could also say it's not, you're not eating fruits and vegetables. You're just going in and getting the cake from the calf. You're getting pizza every day because you can.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the real reason here.
Yeah. Well, for me, I think I lost weight my freshman year a little bit. And that was because I got sick a lot more freshman year.
Oh, yeah?
Because I wasn't used to being surrounded by people 24/7 and having a communal bathroom. And
oh, yeah.
so I got sick a lot more time. Like, I didn't get sick too often while I was like in high school and stuff like that. But freshman year, I got sick a lot. So I wasn't.
Okay.
So obviously, you lose weight when you're sick because you don't want to eat. And
Right.
then,
You gotta keep your strength up. Get that soup.
another thing too was like me and Sasha usually ate our meals together. We would go to the cafeteria all the time. And the food just wasn't appetizing to us unless it was like a family, like a family was going through or all that stuff, where they had the really good food.
Yeah.
So there was actually a point where me and Sasha, I would wait for Sasha and I'd be like, "I'm hungry, let's go." And like halfway there to the cafeteria, I was like, "Man, I'm just not really that hungry anymore now." Cause like that was like almost, I was conditioned to the point where like the thought of cafeteria food like made me not hungry.
Wow, that bad. Man, I didn't think it was that bad.
I think it was because like the only foods that I really liked from the cafeteria, they didn't have all the time, and so everything else was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just have a burger, or I guess I'll just have I'm not really big on pizza, so pizza wasn't always an option. So basically
Pizza
it was
was always an option for me. It was always this fallback plan. Are you good at the grill?
So mine was always like burgers, and there's only so
Yeah.
often you can eat burgers before you're just kind of sick of it.
I do remember always texting and being like, "Hey, what do they have today?" And then somebody would be there. "Hey, are you at the cafe? Yeah. What do they have?" Like, "Oh yeah, we got garlic turkey or something. Garlic turkey. I meant garlic chicken."
There was always this one item, I can't remember what it was, but it was like a big thing, and there'd be always a huge giant line, and everyone would go to the cafe that day. What was it? It was something on the grill that they made.
Remember.
It wasn't a quesadilla, I don't think. What was it that they made?
Man.
Was it
Quesadilla sounds good today. I'm gonna get a quesadilla for dinner now. Thanks.
Oh, that's gonna bother me. I don't remember what food it was that they made, and everyone flipped out, and they had to go to the cafeteria that day.
There were a bunch like that. Like, you'd always get... Fried chicken was really popular. Fried chicken would always have a line.
Yeah. And I had fried chicken and waffles. I thought that was the weirdest thing. And then now I see it everywhere.
Yeah.
What was
not
it?
the style.
I don't remember what it was.
I've got one. Maybe it'll come back to you. You mentioned being sick. Don't you know, your first time being sick away from home without your mommy, it's gonna suck. You're gonna have to, you're an adult now. You're in college. You're gonna have to be sick on your own. You're gonna have to muscle up and get through it. So, be warned. Get some meds.
Don't you know if you go to the student house, all they'll do is give you antibiotics?
Yeah, basically.
That's all they did. Basically, it was just to go. You only went to the student house so you could get antibiotics, basically.
Those are good, though.
Rubbers.
Antibiotics are important. As long as you don't have a bacterial infection, you'll pull through the flu. You'll be all right.
Okay, so let's go into the article I was talking about with the 15 freshman 15. So this article is called "Mental Drain and Weight Gain" by Courtney Hutchinson.
Could be stress eating.
So the reason why it's got like this huge kind of section at the top about sleep deprivation and causing that to eat more calories or whatever, blah 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 blah. We're not going into that section because it doesn't have to do anything with college. Well, I mean, I guess a little bit because sleep deprivation is a big thing with college, but that's not what we're going to focus on. If you guys are interested in that section, you guys can read it. I will be posting a link on Twitter and in the description. So the one I was focusing on was the section called Freshman 15 Re-Examined. And they say that overtaxing the brain also can cause overeating. And so they did a study where they had students work on a 45-minute session on cognitive work and found that afterwards, when they were given access to a buffet, they ate 250 more calories on average than the students who were in the session where they only listened to music for 45 minutes.
Well, that makes sense. I imagine you're using more calories thinking about all this stuff if you're stressed out, you know?
Actually,
Plus,
and that's what it says. It says that the reason why was they believed it was because to counteract the fatigue that you felt from using your brain, you would go for carbs to increase your energy level and to spike your sugar level. So
I see. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but since you're not like actually exercising, you're not burning more calories.
It doesn't actually burn them.
Yeah, so
you just get tired.
Yeah, you just get tired, so your body craves the carbs to get energy.
Some, though. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, if you stare at a computer screen all day, your eyes get fatigued, but that's not burning more calories.
Yeah, I guess. Mine don't get fatigued. I stare at them all day.
Yeah. So I mean, your body can get fatigued in certain areas without burning calories.
Yeah.
So that's what that article is about.
That's pretty cool. Pro tip, eat an apple. Because apples are fantastic for your brain. They're a good energy pick-me-up. They're pretty tasty. They're not the best thing in the world, in my opinion, but I like them a lot. And the green apples, my favorite, are the best ones for you. They're also low-cal, and they're...
Apples have something in it that keeps you awake, so they're really good for the morning. They say that, like, one of the best things to have for breakfast is an apple and water. And then, of course, other stuff, too, but... having an apple and water is like really good. If you're gonna have anything.
And they're great for your mind. Fantastic for your mind. And although they do give you an energy boost, but if you eat one before bed, they'll give you vivid dreams. They might, I guess.
They're supposed to, yeah. I've never tried it. But yeah, they're supposed to give, I've also read that too. They're supposed to give you vivid dreams.
I found it out by accident. I just had an apple because I was hungry. Went to bed. I probably told this on here. We're probably at that point in podcasts episodes where I'm going to start repeating myself. Very probably already have.
You have. On the last episode, where you went and started talking about karaoke and the jukebox over again after the episode on music.
I'm so excited to talk about karaoke. No.
Okay, so for the next article, we're just going to quickly kind of go through it. I really mainly picked this one just because I think it's really good for people who are going into college. Basically, it's just the article is tips for adjusting to your new college life. It doesn't have an author. I'm going to post a link so you guys can look. And we kind of talked a little bit about this, and Jacob did too. So tips would be open to new experiences. So, it says go to like orientations and stuff like that. Activities, meetups. Connect with your peers. So one example it gives is your roommate's also new to college, so you guys might choose to go do things together and stuff like that. Join a group, always really good to do. Manage your time and take care of yourself. So we kind of touched about all those things. But I think it's really good article for people going into college or will be going into in the next few years. So I will post that. And that's it for my articles.
And do your homework. Just do it. It's your job. You're a full-time student. 40 hours a week. I don't care what your credit load is. Man, I wish I'd have told myself that freshman year.
Okay. I have 3 don't you knows, and that's it.
Yeah, I've actually, I think I'm just about tapped out.
Okay, so two of them deal with the bookstore. I think I'm gonna do that one first.
Oh, the bookstore.
Yeah. So don't you know? Don't get your textbooks from the bookstore. Get them used from like half.com or somewhere like I think Amazon. One of my coworkers, her daughter does online classes, and Amazon actually lets you rent the books for a semester for like
Yeah,
$20, I think.
it's a pretty good deal.
That's a lot
You need
better
the
than paying
ebooks, too.
$500. So, don't you know, look for other options. I mean, if all else fails, then obviously go for your bookstore, but
Yeah, gotta get a deal.
let that be the last
And a lot
option.
of times, the bookstores, they'll have the ones for the class.
Yeah, but I've had it where my freshman year I bought from the bookstore, and I had to use bonds that my great grandmother left for me. I had to turn those in prematurely to buy textbooks. And even then, I had some of the books that I got from the bookstore we didn't even use in the class.
That's the worst when you feel like, then it's like, okay, you should be reading it on the side anyway, but I don't know.
Yeah. But see, I had one teacher that like straight up said he like was required to do a book list and he wasn't sure if he would use any of these books, but he put them down so that if he did use them, we would have them.
I see.
So there weren't even like books we're supposed to like read on the side. Did you read your summer reading for school? I didn't.
What's summer reading?
Remember there
I
was
don't
like
even know how to read.
Remember there was like 2 or 3 books that supposedly we were supposed to
yeah, I
read
know.
before, and they are mentioned in different classes, but it was never like
Wait, are you talking about every semester or the ones before school?
the one
very
like
beginning.
freshman year, like your
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I read those. Yeah, I read those for sure. Those inspired the heck out of me, honestly. Like, I ate them up, like...
I should
I
have because
did
one
too.
of them is about like Mercer supposedly or something like that, and people did talk about certain scenes that were in the
yeah,
book.
by Feral Sams. I remember that.
Yeah, but I did not read it. Either of them. I think I ended up buying the books. I just never read them.
Yeah, A Whisper of the River. I was going to say that, and I had to make sure I was right, and I wasn't quoting some different book. That would have been funny. Yeah, Feral Sams. It was really good. And then he, it's been so long ago. I want to say he came and spoke at the school. Does that sound right?
He did.
And then later on, he passed away while we were still in school.
Oh wow, I didn't know that part.
I think so.
Maybe he passed away while you were still in school then, because I didn't hear about that.
Might have been.
He came to a Founding Fathers Day or something like a Founders Day, which involved a long sleeve T-shirt. It was like the only time they gave us long sleeve T-shirt was.
2013 was when he passed.
Oh, well, that was while I was still in school. I don't remember that though. That was my senior year though. I was so zoned out at that point.
It was that was a good book. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
It
I did
inspired
hear
me
it was
to
pretty
explore
decent.
the school. Don't you know? You should explore your school and know its ins and outs. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
Let's see. Another one with bookstore is, don't you know you only go to the bookstore when you first start, so that you can get your school swag stuff,
Oh yeah.
and when family comes into town. Those are like the only times you ever go to the bookstore. Or if you need like presents. It's quick.
Yeah, it's good for presents too. That's for sure. No, it always had some cool stuff, and the stuff you get there is pretty quality too.
Yeah, I mean, I still have my Mercer sweats that I got freshman year. I still wear
Yeah.
them. But
Nice.
you don't like go there. I got that my freshman year. I didn't eat again.
I might go top off, go visit them. Get a polo or something. Wow, I'm getting old. I went there to get a polo or something. And my other thought was maybe I could get a tie. No, I'm old! Man, when did it happen?
Man,
That's okay.
it didn't sneak up on me. My brother reminded me constantly, Raquel, you're old.
Maybe I'll get a tumbler for my coffee.
Oh, dude, just
Oh,
go to the
man.
Christmas lighting. They give out free tumblers.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
I had mine. I think I still have mine somewhere. I think it's behind my pops over there. But all the like the Christmas tree lighting and year and stuff like that's been scratched off now. Cause like not
Yeah.
like scratched off, it came off.
Yeah.
I used that for like the longest time. This is my last don't you know, which is got kind of 2 stories behind it. So, don't you know, college students love Disney.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't?
Yeah, like, well, I mean, you would think, oh man, come on, you guys are in
Oh, I
college.
thought you meant
don't
going
watch-
to Disney World.
No, I'm talking about actually like Disney. Like they actually watch Disney movies too. We watched Toy Story 4, or was it no? Toy Story 4 just came out. So Toy Story 3 out there on the plaza.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of the movies out on the plaza were Disney movies.
Oh, yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. People seem to be like, I guess they're like...
We had a lot of recommendations for the TV
wishing
channel.
for youth again. Huh?
On the TV channel, we did recommendations for movies and stuff like that. And we got so many Disney recommendations. But Disney wasn't part of the contract, so we couldn't watch Disney movies. But...
Sorry, Disney who?
And then, my senior year, when it snowed, there were so many people out there, so many college students out there singing, "Do you want to build a snowman?"
Oh, yeah, because that was that year.
Yeah. So, don't you know, college students love their Disney.
You know what I just realized?
What?
They come out with Frozen, and it snows in Georgia. And then they come out with Moana, and it's a vacation summer paradise for like the next few... No, it's a bit of a stretch. Moana's not even recent. What is it now?
Toy Story.
Toy Story 4. And now our toys are coming to life. No, that doesn't count. It's all about the weather. No, I'm just teasing. I don't really think Disney controls the weather. Maybe they do.
Shoot, Bearstock. Quadworks controls the weather over there, though. Bearstock every year, like it could be raining the whole week and then that one day be sunny and bright and dry and then rain the next day. I don't know how they did it, but the 4 years I was there, plus I think the year after, because we came down for Bearstock, always sunny. Always sunny. Perfect temperature.
It's like Philadelphia. Well.
So, yeah, it'd be, I think one year it, like, snowed. The senior year, I think it, like, snowed a week or two before Bearstock, and it was still, like, sunny that day.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's just coincidence. They're probably using, like, Farmer's Almanac or something, and just, they know the weather, like, a year in advance. Just like,
but they always do it on
this
different
week.
days, though, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because that's when it's going to be sunny that day, or that year.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just
It was
magic.
just weird to say. Okay. I think that's all I have for that. We didn't do very many discussions, so let's end on a couple of college stories. Yeah?
Oh boy. Alright.
Okay, I'll do one.
Let's see. Okay.
While you think of one, I'll do one. So I want to say freshman year. And this goes back to, connecting with your peers and all that stuff, is you find out, like, events that are going on that are, like under the radar kind of events. They're not events that are put on through the school. And so my freshman year, there was this big group that got together and played Manhunt. You remember? Do you remember that?
Yeah, it's a little bit.
You remember what that game was?
Yeah. It was the zombies game.
No.
Oh.
Manhunt is basically like reverse hide and seek. So one person goes hides, and everyone else is seeking for them. And when you find them, you stay in that, you all have to hide in that spot until, like, the very last person. And then whoever's the last person, or whoever's the first person is the one that hides next. But whoever, like, last person, I guess, just loses or whatever.
Oh, I gotcha.
And so, I don't know. I'm not going to say that on our podcast. But,
Okay.
But there might have, like, someone may have, nah, it's okay. Anyways, go ahead, Jacob, your story.
Wow, what a story. Well, I was going to talk about bicycling. My second 2 years, I lived off campus, just down the street a little bit.
Doesn't count, we can't do that now.
Well, maybe at your college listening you can. I got into bicycling as my method of transportation because apparently a lot of colleges have parking problems. Bicycles are like the best thing. Just so you know, it's perfect because you can have a book bag on. You just go going. You don't have to walk. You don't have to drive your car from one parking lot to the other and worry about passes and worry about finding a space with everybody else who's trying to get there between your classes. No, you just zip through and you run down the pedestrians, you hop the curbs and you go up the dirt and you run down the stairs on your bike, and it's so much fun. And probably everyone hated me, honestly.
And they do now, too, on this podcast, don't you know?
Oh, yeah, no, it's so good.
It's so good that people hate you on this.
Bicycles are good for college. So much that we actually there was bike rentals at the college. There was Bear Bikes, and I actually have a friend who did a lot with Bear Bikes.
There was a bike shop, too.
Outside.
I didn't know that was a thing.
There was a bike shop as well. Yeah, and later on in college, they installed some little... like bike stations where you could go, and if you had to pump up your tire or like change an Allen wrench or something, there were just a bunch of like tools that were like on a wire just hanging there. That was fantastic. Thank you all so much for that. I used it 1 billion times. That was awesome. So bicycling, consider it. Or skateboarding. I used to use rollerblades too until they shattered after this wicked gnarly jump. Anyway, That's a whole different story. That's probably why I didn't get my freshman 15, because I was bicycling everywhere.
Okay, so last thing. Listen, I guess, do you have anything else?
No, I'm good, and I gotta get going too, actually.
Okay, so let's do this last thing where we talk, because you did mention it, and I think actually it'd be great to talk about, especially maybe if your school doesn't have it, you can think about organizing, which is the zombie game. That was so much fun. So what they did was they
Probably been banned.
I can't remember what it was called.
Humans versus Zombies.
Is that what it's called?
Pretty sure.
I think it is. So basically everyone registers, and pretty much you get, when you register, you go and you pick up a white band, which stands for humans, and a red band, which stands for zombies. And then when the event happens, it happens like for over a week. And you have your human card or whatever number. You get your card. And when you go to register your card, you find out if you're human or you're zombie.
Yeah, it's all on some website or something.
Yeah. And so then it's a human card. That's what it is. It's a human card if you are a human. And if you're a zombie, you don't get a human card. And so what you do is if you're a zombie, then you can, if you touch someone who's a human, then you get their human card.
Yeah, it's like tag.
Yeah, it's like tag. And you enter it into the system, and if you don't if you don't eat for like 3 days, then you die.
You die. Yeah. And then you're out of the game. And the thing was like, it was ongoing for like until it's done. So it would play out for like a week or two. And then like the buildings were safe zones. But if you're outside,
yeah,
that's it. You gotta run. And it was crazy. People were like, it was nuts. You could use paper balls.
Yeah, as weapons. Anything with paper. They had a paper and then they changed it to paper balls. Yeah, because people did like these massive paper swords.
Yeah, people went above and beyond where it ever should have been. You got too into it. You went too far and you ruined it. No.
So that's really fun to get together. Another fun thing that made me think about it, let's do this last one then, was Battleship.
Battleship. So intramurals in general we didn't talk about. Intramurals is very fun. I won't say much, but don't you know, go do some. It's fun.
It definitely. It's really good for organizations to do too. You could put together a team.
Yeah, it's camaraderie.
Yeah. So with Battleship, what it is
one of the best.
What it is you have, our pool was big enough for 4 canoes, so you put 4 canoes in it and people are in the canoes, and basically your goal is to put a lot of water in the other team's canoes and make them sink. But you can't tip them over or anything like that. But if you
can't
fall
use
out
water
of
guns because you can't bring those on campus.
And if you fall over out of your canoe, then your team loses. So you all have to stay in the canoe, and you can't take water out of your canoe. And it's a lot of fun. So you take like these little squirters, like pumps or buckets and stuff like that, putting water in the other teams. Other schools have it where you can do like shields. You can make shields.
Oh yeah, that would make it last so long though.
So that was a lot of fun.
Don't you know, if you're a loser and they say ready, set, go, and then all 4 boats just sit in the corner, because that's a strategy. You hang back, let them sink themselves, and then you go in and pick up the remains. If you do that, you're going to the moon. If none of that in my Battleship game.
We haven't done that in a while. To the moon.
To the moon. Off the planet. You can go play Battleship on Mars. There's no water.
Had people did that, and they had like their little like squirt gun things. Not guns, but like little squirter like noodle things.
They're like bike pumps or something, yeah.
Yeah, and they would be all 4 people would be in the corner just shooting each other with that,
Sniping.
trying to sink them.
Yeah.
It was like, dude,
that's so
fun.
lame. That's bad. I think they put on like if it looks like you're hanging back, you have to like they'll like encourage you like go get in there.
They gave a time limit to be in one spot after a while. They say if you don't move within like 10 seconds, and then you weren't allowed to hang onto the diving board either.
Yeah, but then they just casually just go in a circle around the action. They're still being chickens.
Yeah,
being chickens. We would always charge right in, and then we get double teamed left and right. We're just there for the show.
So guys, check out for games and stuff like that on college because it's fun. It's a great stress reliever. Definitely always look for stress relievers on campus because it could be stressful with classes. I've seen schools where they do like bubble wrap. They like have like bubble wrap in areas so that people can pop bubbles to like stress relief. Our school used to bring puppies during finals or dogs or whatever. Go play with those. I remember
that. They'd have them all
therapy
out in the
dogs. So look out for events. Participate. It's fun. Make some connections. That's how me and Jacob met. Well, actually, no, we met in class, but still.
Well, yeah.
Our class
was an extracurricular class.
Yes.
I didn't have to take that class, and neither did you, I imagine.
And we stayed friends because we continued to do stuff with that afterwards. So
that's true, yeah.
Yeah. So get involved. You might make lifelong friends, like me and Jacob. We're gonna go to Japan.
And stay Stay focused on school too, not just curricular. There's a fine balance in life. Don't go too hard in one direction or the other. You'll figure it out.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So don't forget to follow. Don't forget to share. You can send us a tweet at don'tyouknowpod, or you can send us email at don'tyouknowpod@gmail.com. You can send us suggestions. You can send us your don't you knows. Maybe we'll do, if we have a certain amount of don't you knows, we can do like a miscellaneous episode where we read don't you knows and maybe just do random don't you knows that we have. Or if we have enough don't you knows, we can just do a whole episode with don't you knows. You can send discussion questions if you want. Yeah, or you can send us feedbacks. We like those as well.
We love feedback.
Yeah.
We love to go, ha ha ha, what a dumb opinion, and we throw it on the ground.
Ha ha ha. Jacob does that, not me. So until next time, guys. See ya.
See ya.